Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Matt O'Grady podcast, and welcome to MattO'GradyCoaching.com. And joining me today is my super duper friend, Kathy. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I think our podcast listeners are getting to know you pretty well, but in case they haven't downloaded those, just give us a quick hello, who you are and what you do.
Well, hi everybody, I'm Catherine Epstein. I'm the founder of the Living Lotus Group. It is a resource for outer and inner growth. Essentially, I'm a life coach, a Reiki master, a teacher. I've authored several books, and I work with gems and crystals and ride the flow of energy. So that's about it right now.
That's about it, huh? Just the short list of things that you provide. No, that's wonderful. As always, super happy to talk with you, especially about a topic that is so near and dear to both of our hearts.
Yeah.
And that is the subject of gratitude. Of course, this week is kind of the week for gratitude, so it's pretty cool. As all the listeners who have probably listened to at least one podcast know, because I so lovingly remind them, because I'm so proud of my recent publishing of Living Gratitude. So talk a little bit about that, and then we're also going to talk about something you affectionately call Gratitude Rocks, and how we're coming together to kind of create this really special gift that could change people's lives. So before we get there, just give me a little bit of your philosophy on gratitude. How has it affected your life, so that the people know what we're talking about, why you and I are so darn passionate about it?
Well, what I want to say first is congratulations on your amazing book, Matt. That is
Thank you.
exciting, and what a gift you're giving to the world, really. Gratitude for me is just a state of being, a vibrational state of being that even when times are tough, if I can stay tapped into what I'm grateful for, and sometimes it's just a hot cup of tea when everything else is crashing all around me, or something like that, when I tap into gratitude, it really makes my heart space open wide, and it reminds me of the Grinch when his heart starts growing bigger and bigger. That's almost what I see and what I feel. So gratitude really helps me get from point A to point B really rapidly, and what a high state of vibration it is, and just to be reminded of that constantly helps keep me uplifted through the day.
Oof. So well said. So well said. Yeah, I really hope that everyone who's listening just took that in really deeply, because you're talking about why I'm so passionate about it. We're so often looking for the next big thing that's really dramatic and kind of paradigm shifting and all of that. And the simple wisdom of life has often been lost in modern times. And I see gratitude as a simple technology that we can apply to our lives, just how you talked about it, that next cup of tea, that next breath, that this moment, and just allowing ourselves to appreciate anything, literally anything, the color of the ceiling, the fact that I exist, the fact that I have a roof over my head, or running water, or tea pot to use that running water that fuels my life, these really simple aspects of life, but going more deeply into them so that they can feed our souls and inspire us and kind of lead us to this place of a better life, a happier life. And I really believe, as I know you do, that gratitude is one of those things that can do all of that and so much more.
It sure is. Absolutely.
That's so great. So I know that you've worked with clients on this subject as well. Can you just give us a little background on how you've done that and kind of what you've seen, what you've experienced in that practice?
Well, what I teach people is, as we said, to be grateful for just anything that they can see and appreciate and acknowledge in their life of what's going right, instead of focusing on what's wrong. And I remember working with someone recently who was sort of complaining about her children and her life, and this they were teenagers, so that should say it all. But she was kind of complaining about this, they weren't doing this or all of those things, and I finally brought a different perspective to her, and I said, well, how about if you just take a moment and understand that this is a fleeting phase of their life, and go home and hug them and look for something positive that you can point out to them, and realize that they are growing into wonderful adults, and being very grateful for having this time in their lives to help shape them will help shift them, if that
Super beautiful. Really, really gorgeous. I love that you picked something around parenting because for me, that whole experience is very alive and well. You're a bit of a veteran with two beautiful young adult children, and I have a newly 4-year-old from just this past Sunday. And so, yeah, what you're saying is really near and dear to my heart. It's like, as anyone who's been a parent knows, that it's not an easy kind of daily thing, but the opportunities are super rich if we're aware and doing practices exactly like you shared, because it changes our state. I want to step back for a moment and kind of look at this a little differently, if you'll join me, and that is, we all go through ups and downs, right? Throughout our days, throughout our lives, the seasons of life, so to speak, and the way that we kind of work our way to the season that we're really enjoying it is by learning how to change our state, because we're all going to get sad. We're all going to get frustrated. You know, we're human beings, right? Very few of us are Dalai Lamas, so to speak, right? So we're like regular people that have been kind of taught some inner technology on how to help our lives and get closer to spirit and allow more beauty and help and abundance and gratitude, good feelings through our lives, healing processes, healing thoughts, healing feelings. And what I really think kind of makes the difference as we get closer to kind of the Dalai Lama level is the ability to become conscious of the present moment and our state, the relationship of our emotional state, our psychological state, and that present moment, and then assess where we are with that, and then begin to take productive, efficient, logical steps towards feeling better. And gratitude kind of gets a bad rap, I think, as this kind of like a hokey thing or a real lighthearted thing. And that's one level of gratitude, but that's not what I'm talking about, like radical gratitude, that when you practice it, when you really know the power of it, you can enact this practice into your life and have an almost immediate shift in your state, which then leads you very quickly, if you're practiced at it and know how to do it, to these much higher states of happiness and joy and even ecstasy, nirvana. People are looking to feel good. If you start compiling all these different, really beautiful opportunities that we have in the present moment of our lives and become aware of them and focus on them, it's not long before our state is completely transformed.
That's so true, Matt. Absolutely true. And I think that even when you are feeling, as you said, when you're really tapped into the present moment and you're feeling, let's say you're feeling sad, and acknowledging it and appreciating that you're having that feeling and knowing that that will be fleeting, but bringing yourself around and viewing things from a different perspective. But the exercise of learning how to practice gratitude, it's a practice. So it's learning to be very sweet with yourself and to continue to move on and move through it while being very focused on how you're feeling in the present moment.
Oof, that's really sweet. I'm really connected to the term transformational life coach.
Yes.
That's kind of in your list of high qualities that you offer your clients and tribe and community. Just while we're thinking of it, livinglotusgroup.com is a really important newsletter and a really important website that you want to be sure to visit and get on Kathy's list and stay connected with her and reach out to her on social media, because wisdom, like she just shared, just kind of flows from her effortlessly. And so when you get to spend time around people like you, Kathy, you just increase everyone's vibration. And I think you're doing that at your new location over there at Absolute Yoga in Woodbury, New York, a pretty swank, really cool spot for you to kind of have your digs. Congratulations on the move a couple months ago, by the way.
Thank you so much. We are so thrilled. What a beautiful place, and I'm very, very grateful that I made that move, took the plunge, and I'm in that beautiful new spot. So thank you for that, Matt.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's great. I think it's like, there's nothing that makes me happier than kind of introducing, the people who like my podcast to people like you, because, not everyone is going to work with me. They may like my podcast, but they're not going to, necessarily hire me as coach. I have a lot of girlfriends and friends who are women who just very specifically want to work with a woman for all sorts of really, kind of obvious and appropriate reasons. And, that's kind of one of my gifts is being able to kind of establish really amazing friendships with really amazing women, and you're one of them. You're at the top of the list, and I really think that it's important that if you like what I have to share, you've got to make sure that you check in with Kathy and see what her communication is like too. So with all of that said, give us a little bit more about kind of the focus of your coaching business and just a little bit about more about what you do. And then we're going to dive in and talk about this product that you and I have co-created.
Oh, absolutely. Well, my transformational life coaching, essentially I work with people, and mainly women, not always, but mainly women, who really want to shift and change their lives. They might not quite know what it is that they're wanting to shift, but they know that they're not feeling balanced, and sometimes they do definitely know what it is that it's out of balance. But what I do is help them see where they are and accept where they are and create a plan or steps or strategies to help them move forward and to make changes. I have seen amazing things from people, my clients, and I'm always inspired by them because I've seen them move beyond their fears and take the plunge and do something that they might have been afraid to do. I've helped people launch businesses. I've helped people end unhealthy marriages or work through the ending of an unhealthy marriage. I've helped people just have better relationships with their children and so on and so forth. So the list goes on about how working with a life coach can help change your life, because when you have that kind of support system, it's not like a girlfriend relationship. It is more of a person that holds you, that sees your highest and best self and helps you meet her, essentially. So to help transform your life in ways that are appropriate to you and using languaging that you understand and really working with the steps to help you take action. So I'm very committed and passionate about helping people that way.
That's gorgeous. That's really gorgeous. So, obviously, if you're in one of those states and you'd like it to shift, obviously this practice of gratitude that we're talking about could be super helpful. And then you could use that as a launch pad to, really loving yourself and hiring an amazing coach like Kathy. And not to mention, because she's so humble, I know she won't say anything, but I'm going to say I was in your shop the other day, and as you know, I bought 3 amazing stone angels for one of my best friends, Paul Saladino, who loves it, by the way. So Kathy has also, in addition to all these amazing services, has just this just amazing shop of curated stones, healing stones and crystals and jewelry and just amazing stuff. I know I'm going to be back. I already have a couple things in mind that I purchased for the holidays. So I want to make sure everybody knows out there, if you're looking for that kind of really conscious, beautiful gift, to check out livinglotusgroup.com for that as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt.
Enough said on that. So I think it's time to kind of unveil our fun little creation here, which, isn't so little. It's little in size, maybe physical size, but absolutely infinite in potential. And that's, of course, I wrote this book a bit about my story and my life and how gratitude has helped transform it and led me on this spiritual journey I never could have even imagined at the time, now 20 years later. And you and I coming together based on a product that you offer called Gratitude Rocks, which now I think I've bought almost a couple hundred of them, or something along those lines, and used them in my life and given them as gifts. And I'm so passionate about them that because of my love of gratitude, you and I came together and founded this idea of kind of combining forces and offering a really nice gratitude package for someone. So tell us a little bit about what the Gratitude Rocks are and how they work and why they're important. And, we'll continue this unveiling of our collaboration.
Yes, and it's a very exciting collaboration, Matt. As you said, I have a shop with gems and crystals. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. And at the end of how it started, the Gratitude Rocks started, at the end of every workshop and every meditation that I've led for all these years, I always gifted every participant with a crystal, a stone or a crystal, and then I would explain what it meant and how it could help them. And then I got this idea, make this more of a formal practice. So I created this little card that says, Gratitude Rocks, and so do you. So it comes with a card explaining the healing properties of each crystal, and there are various crystals. I've just chosen random ones from around my shop. It explains the healing properties and the energy and the vibration of what they'll get when they work with this stone. And people so loved it. It was so well received that I started giving it at the end of every purchase, every time someone made a purchase. And then I started carrying them in my purse and giving them out in the general public world, say at a restaurant, as a tip, leaving something as a kind reminder for a waiter in addition to a cash tip, or giving it to a clerk in a store. And I just love watching people's faces when they choose their Gratitude Rock and then they read the card and they say, oh, I need this right now. So that's been a fun part of the journey, and now I have them packaged so that people can carry their own supply in their car or in their purse and give them out when they see someone or there's in conversation with someone and they hear a need for something and they just, hey, here, try that, have this stone. Here's a gift for you. So it's just gone really bigger and more better than I could ever imagine.
Yes, of course. Do not shy away from more better. I mean, it is, as I've learned having a 4-year-old, sometimes things that aren't correct English are actually a really great definition of what we're trying to say. So I love it. So that was just great. I appreciate you sharing it. And I'm going to share an actual experience that kind of just shows the pay it forward kind of process and kind of the energy behind what you and I are trying to do. So you know this story, but I'm going to share with our listeners. Over the summer, Paul, myself, and the rest of the Soul Brothers launched a kind of cruise for this amazing organization called The Mother's Kiss that supports families who have children who are going through cancer and, dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt to kind of manage their child's health. Like who wouldn't mortgage their house to, and anything else to take care of their child because they're afflicted with this, real horrible situation and how to figure it out and manage it and on the money side. And this organization tries to help them do that so that their child can still continue to get the best care. And so I'm super passionate about this organization, and I'm so proud that at our event, even just a month ago, we were awarded 3 of the children in this organization with $1,000 plus gifts for each one of them at the event, and it's just mind-blowingly, heart-blowing, open kind of experience. But at the cruise, we had almost 100 people come, and I believe we ended up donating about $7,500, which, in my opinion, that's a pretty substantial amount of mojo for these families. And you were super generous, and you donated one of these gratitude stones to each and every person who came. And I was able to stand at the boat after our cruise, and a kind of our love cruise, if you will. It's just the most amazing group of people coming together in consciousness and compassion for this organization and the kids and Person of Stone on the way out. And got dozens of positive, appreciative, kind of surprised looks on their face that they're receiving this after, already having such a great time and feeling so good about, paying for their ticket to donate to the kids and just the kind of the community that we built there. And then as people were leaving, giving them this gift that you provided. And the looks on their faces and the appreciation, the gratitude that they shared, and talking with them about it was just amazing all on its own, right? And then fast forward to my book launch a couple weeks ago at the event, and I had more than one person come up, buy my book, and then tell me, like, hey, Matt, I met you over the summer. I was like, yeah, I know, you look familiar. And having this conversation that, like, almost 6 months later, getting to continue to build this relationship that's built on gratitude. And it's just so heart expanding for me to talk about it and knowing that each aspect of it, whether it's the book sale or the rocks that you gave or the, hugely generous donations that people gave for the cruise and the money going to these kids who are afflicted with cancer, like I just step back and you can see how a community, a tribe, a consciousness can come together to really support one another at all these different levels, whether it's you or I as coaches and teachers and speakers and authors. And then the amazing tribes that we have, the people who are more like, quote unquote, the lay people who understand these things, they're learning these things, they're practicing these things, but you and I need to lead the charge. And then we also introduced them to an organization that they never even knew existed that's doing all this really amazing work to, bring better feelings onto the planet and take care of our kids. And just stepping back and looking at how that process works, I'm just extremely humbled, completely amazed, and super excited.
Yeah. Wow, that is so beautiful, Matt. And I'm smiling over here because I can picture you handing out the gratitude rocks to each person on that cruise and watching their faces, because I've seen it every time I've done it. I watch people light up, grown men who, I don't believe in rocks kind of guys, and they people love it. It's so inspiring, and I love your story. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. So this is, just to let everybody know, this is kind of our launch cast, so to speak, and kind of introducing the product to people and wanting them to know that, each person who purchases this co-creation of ours, which will include a Living Gratitude book and a nice package of gratitude rocks for them to take into their lives, to take into their practice, to share with their families and friends and communities and kind of spread the good word to keep, kind of paying it forward on gratitude, because it is a life changer. There's so many things we can do to help ourselves in our lives. However, most of them, in my opinion, are not as easy as a gratitude practice. And that's what makes gratitude especially special, in my opinion, is this ability for anyone, whether you're my son's age or you're, in your hundreds, you can practice gratitude, and there's always something to be grateful for if we have the mindset and the consciousness and the awareness to see it. And once we plant that seed into our lives begin to change, our state begins to change, and happiness is really just a couple breaths away, a few moments away if we will allow it in. So I'm just super excited. We're going to do more talks on this. We're going to put the package together. We're going to have it ready by the end of next week for people to be able to purchase it and share it just in time for their holiday gift list, of course. And we're really excited about that. And Kathy, I'm just super grateful to you to, being willing to work with me on this project and, being so behind what we're doing over at Soul Brothers and taking care of organizations like A Mother's Kiss.
Thank you, Matt, and what an honor it is to work with you and your tribe. I am so grateful. So there you go.
I'm just overwhelmed. I forgive me for my kind of like overzealousness. I just can't really contain it, frankly. With Thanksgiving tomorrow, the friendship that you and I have, the ability of I think come together and create opportunities for their tribes, and I think that's our job, right? Like I see, in addition to the coaching, right? It feels like my calling to kind of create opportunities where people can give to a place like A Mother's Kiss.
Wow, so inspiring, Matt. You really, really are. Oh, I'm so grateful again. I mean, my cup runneth over.
Mine too. So, I mean, we can just, keep going forever on this topic, but
sure.
We were supposed to do only 20 minutes, and of course we're 30. So let's just say thank you to everybody who joined us today and who will download it in the future, and remind them to come back to livinglotusgroup.com to check out everything that you offer, including our co-creation, as well as mattogradycoaching.com and the livinggratitudebook.com, so that they can just kind of see what we're doing and kind of put it together and hopefully share it with their friends and family and tribes themselves if they believe in it and they think it would be helpful to them in their lives. That's what we ask of you in return for today's podcast. If you will, we'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you. We love you, and we will talk to you very soon.
Love and gratitude.
Bye, Kathy. Talk to you soon, everybody.